Oh, nice.
They do like little articles and stuff.
I mean, this was 2002. Right song. Yeah, great. But yeah, come back, pick up the headset, just down and be like, I know these guys, I like watching them play. We just talk about what they're going to do. Everyone loves listening to a girl talk about food. Everybody loves it. All right, guys. We're not streaming. There's no internet. So just recording it for now. All right, guys. So after the 9-ball set, which they split even at 6-6, we are now into the 8-ball set. They're going to play 9 games of 8-ball, up to 9 games of 8-ball until somebody wins a total of 11 games. And this is the finals for the King of the Hill. The King of the Hill event held by the Q in Maplewood, Missouri, the suburb of St. Louis. So these two guys got here by each winning their own arm of a particular single elimination bracket. I think each of them had to win 3 or 4 matches to get here. Like I said, it was single elimination, and the bracket matches were races to 9 instead of 11. This is a master-style race. This is the 8-ball section of the race. They finished up the 9-ball, as you can tell by the score. We're starting to get some people filtering in here. Obviously, we got the jukebox going in the background, and if you're wondering why I'm talking so much and/or so loudly, it's so that when this video goes to YouTube, the YouTube audio analyzers won't mute it for copyright. I make no promises. If they decide to mute it, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do about it because I can't really replace it. Because I obviously would have my commentary in there, in which case I just replace the whole audio track and nobody has to listen to me ramble on. But in the case that my rambling does keep us from getting muted, then I apologize for the rambling. It's kind of a lesser of two evils, in my opinion. So if you're just watching this video, you haven't watched the 9-ball video yet, this is Chad. It's Chad Bickell. It's made a slight overcutting error on that ball there. He's playing Mike Mueller, 2 local high-quality players. This event was limited to players that frequent this particular establishment, so it's not the best in St. Louis. It's really just the best of the regulars that hang out here. You know, they're both very competitive in the local area. I definitely have... Okay, so Mike played a good defensive 8-ball shot there. I can't tell. I think Chad's got a solid that's locked up next to the 8-ball. My angle is it's very similar to the camera angle, but just different enough to where I actually see less of the table. But that's just because I'm sitting at about table height. So, but yeah, it was a good shot. I mean, obviously he sunk that hanger there and took over that pocket. And now Chad's going to make a good kick. Or he's going to try and, just tie up a ball. Tie up some more balls, take a foul. They are playing the APA Master Style rules, so there's no 3-foul rule. You can push, in 9-ball you can push out. You can use jump cues here. It's a call pocket 8-ball. You take what you make on the break here. It's not open after the break. So, all right, Mike's got ball in hand, and so he's going to go ahead and elect to open up the 8-ball and open up his last ball because he's got 3 balls essentially hanging. He's got that ball on the center table to get positioned anywhere else. Obviously, it's very important that you focus on making this ball, and he did it very well. He didn't hammer into it, which is what a lot of players would do. They'd hammer into that stack and try and blast them apart, but you really don't need to do that a lot of times with breakouts because there's more inertia in a ball than one would expect. That's why a lot of people tend to overhit balls. But Mike's just choosing his pattern now. He knows he needs to open that pocket for the last 10-ball, and I expect him to kind of play the 10-ball right after this 13-ball. And I would think probably that ball on the rail would be it might be his key ball, because if he has an angle on it, he can just float across the table and shoot that 8 in the same pocket as where that 15 ball is going to go. But he needs to make up his mind, and from here you really just have to pick your pattern. For whatever reason, he doesn't like the angle he's got there, so he's going to try and do something a little different. I really wish venues would have area-specific volume for their jukebox. I know that would be something I would really. Now this is an interesting pattern. I would have never thought he would play that shot from there, but it's looks like it's going to work out very well, because obviously the 10 or 12 or whatever ball that is next to the 8, that works very well as a key ball as well, because as long as you don't run into the 8 and you're cutting away from it, then you have the 8 in the opposite corner. So, but he's the cue ball's going to be going away from where he needs to be after this shot. So he's just going to go ahead and take a little bit longer shot and ensure that he's got the right angle. And if he's straight enough, he can just stop it right there. I cannot tell if he's got it. So we'll just have to, it looks like he's going to end up going closer to the 8 there, in which case I would want to hit this with a little firmer and just kind of bump the 8 a little closer, but he's going to do something else. Okay. He's got one last little tester shot here. Yeah, calling it the side. It's far enough from the pocket to where it just kind of toys with your eyes a little bit. You just want to let it go and float it in, and Mike takes the lead, 7-6. All right. God, that background music, though. All right, let's see what Mike's 8-ball break looks like. He was struggling a little bit to control it on the 9-ball, but let's see if he can kind of dial it down a little bit and keep this one under control. I notice he breaks from the center. He doesn't go for the second ball break, so I expect a nice power break. Much better. Much better. Good square hit. Cue ball bounced back a little bit and then got kicked around, but it looks like it came up dry. And as it sits, doesn't immediately appear to be any real issues with either suit. Looks like it's the 7 and the 1 at the head rail, at the foot rail down there. And just because of that, I would think Chad would go for stripes. Because even though those 2 balls down there are near the spot, but I think those are more manageable than the 7 and the 1. But that's it's my personal preference. And Chad likes solids. I think he's got an easier starting shot with solids. There's that long bridge again. Let's see where he goes. He's probably going to play one of these balls on the side here. Yeah. I don't know what the 4 passes, the 3 passes. And if he's got it at the right angle, he can actually stun off the 3 and shoot the 4 in the lower left corner as we look. But let's see what kind of angle he's actually got. Yeah. So this will work. He can come forward and shoot the 2 down in the top right corner and use that to get down on the 1. But he's going to need to get relatively straight on the 2. This is going to be interesting because with this angle, I think he's going to try and play for the window between that gap between the stripes, just on top of the one. Oh, that was interesting. That was very interesting. The two ball kind of went in, bobbled around, and then came back out. You can see Chad was entirely shocked that ball didn't drop, and I think everybody watching kind of thought it was down as well. All right. That's the quickest I've ever seen Mike shoot a ball. And it's nothing against Mike. He normally takes his time. He's very diligent, which makes him very dangerous. Mike is an avid runner. He definitely likes his exercising and out running and kind of an outdoors guy. He's also a strong family guy. You see him post pictures with his nieces and nephews. So he's got some decisions to come up with here. He's going to have to figure out what he wants to do and how he wants to do it. He's got to manage those two stripes down by the foot spot. From the angle here, you can tell that he wants to play the 12 ball, the 10 ball. He wants to play the 10 ball on the side and then use that to get down. Because you take that top stripe into the top right corner as we look. And if he can get the right angle, he can actually play both of those balls in the same pocket. And then obviously with the 8 ball in the middle of the table, you can play it anywhere. So yeah, he's got just enough angle where he can just go forward right down the rail and leave himself the angle he wants to deal with that head ball. If the bottom ball passes, honestly, I like shooting the bottom ball first, but I can't tell if it passes. Looks like he's straight in on the top ball. Yeah, so that's what he did. He drew out of it very nicely, gave himself a good shot on this last ball, which is the 13. I think the 1 ball is going to stop him from going forward, so he's going to have to try and pound this ball. Yep, up and down the table, and we'll see it in the top bottom left as we look. He called it. And we got a little Ferris Bueller song in the background, and please, YouTube, don't recognize that and mute me. Okay, Mike takes a 2-game lead. I think this is the first time Mike has had a 2-game lead since the first 2 racks of the 9-ball set. After that, they've kind of been trading games back and forth. Nobody has led more than 2 so far. So, still anybody's game. Chad really prefers 9-ball. He plays 8-ball very well, but he's a 9-ball player by trade, you might say. I think that's just the game that he came up with. I first met Chad, I guess, 4 years ago-ish. We actually played each other in an 8-ball tournament. And he kind of put a hurting on me that day. But, it was clear that he's, a strong player. And I had a lot of fun. He's a great guy to compete against, great guy to play against. Mike changed his break to the second ball break there to just try and make sure that he gets a ball down because he didn't get one the first time. So, let's see how this table's kind of laying out. But anyway, like I was saying, Chad's a great guy. Both these guys are super sportsmen. They're very cordial. They're very well behaved and maintained. And if you're kind of shooting at the wrong ball and they see you shooting at the wrong ball, they'll let you know. They're not going to let you shoot it and then call you on it. They're very friendly about it. They're both. If things don't turn out in their favor, they're both very gracious about it. They're not going to be throwing sticks or slamming chalk or, not shaking hands or anything like that. They're very good sportsmen. And, let's see how he works through the rest of this rack. He obviously did not want to come all the way back to the bottom of that stripe because that's really going to limit his cueing ability. But So he chooses to go with the 3 because he can see the whole cue ball much easier. And that ball, okay, that ball does fall. Never a doubt on a valley would that ball have gone. Definitely a doubt on a diamond. But he had a nice diamond table speed. So now he's looking for, where's he going to get to after this ball? Because he still has the ball tied up. He's got to clear out. That's the 1 ball and the 7 ball down here. Oh. I'm not really sure where he was going with that. I think he was expecting to go 2 rails and then come between those 2 stripes. But it didn't look to me like the ball had enough energy to get there. But it could be because of the way he mishit the 2 ball that caused him to miss the shot that absorbed too much of the energy and couldn't have got there. So we will we'll never know in this particular universe. All right, good shot from Chad. Good opening shot. He plays good shape on this ball on the side. And he has the same problem where he's got a 15 ball stacked on top of the 7 ball down here. And yeah, he really tried to get it. And I think moving the 7 is great because if it passes the 1, then that ball goes. I can't tell if it does. He's going to have to take a good look at it. And body language tells me it does not pass, but that doesn't mean that there isn't something else that could be done with it. If you can just figure out how to get underneath it, obviously it'll go on the side, on the right-hand side, but that's a very small positional window. So let's see. We'll see how he plays the table out here. He's got some thinking to do. Chad has gotten really good over the years about coming up with a plan and not shooting before he finalizes that plan. Definitely a lot of players would have kind of said, well, I'll deal with it later and just start making these last 2 or 3 balls down there. But if you don't have a plan for your tied up ball, then there's no point in making any other balls. Because if you can't get out, don't start running out, right? And it's so easy to say and sometimes very hard to remember. I think he's going to try and I think he's got half a pocket or 3/4 of a pocket. So we'll see how this plays out. He's going to have to play off the 7 and have to... Oh, we tried to play it off the 1, it looks like. And confident in his shot-making ability, he would have had that ball down there by the foot spot to then clean up those last 2. But, playing that ball at the top of the 1 was very tough. As it is, he left Mike, and it looks like an off-angle 7-1 combo. I think the 1 is further away from the rail than the 7. So you might actually try and play the 7 into the rail and then play the 1 rail first with that 7 ball. So otherwise trying to back cut a ball that's nearly on the rail makes it very tough. And it looks close enough. That happened pretty quick. So now Mike's in a similar situation where he's got a tough shot here, but if you can just draw this into the rail and back out, the 7 ball actually comes back out. Don't get behind that. I think he got there. So now he just needs to... you almost want to play, because the way the balls are laying, cut the 7 in and play to hit the 8. And it'll leave you with a good shot on the 6. And as long as you don't hammer it, and don't make the 8 in the side, then you're sitting all right. Yeah, he excuse me, he undercut that one a little bit, and I think that's because he was really worried about what to do with the 6, and you can tell he didn't. I don't think he hit it where he wanted to, because I don't believe he wanted that shape on the 6. He needs to get out from that 8 ball. Okay. He looks really straight on this 10 ball. Looks really straight on this 10 ball. And again with the long bridge, I think he's going to go forward and try and come up with it. Yeah. A little bit of spin. How's that for speed, folks? Close to your work, but it will get the job done. Couldn't really get off the railer. He was so straight, and you don't really want to hammer a ball that close. Your follow through is naturally going to want to go farther, and you don't want to double hit the cue ball. So he just takes the shot, drains it, pulls back to within one. All right, while they're racking, I'm going to mute it to try and keep YouTube off my back. All right, let's take a look at Chad's break. Starting to get a crowd around the table now. Okay, a relatively conservative break for Chad. I know he hits a 9-mo break harder than that. Nothing really down, and kind of a mess on one side of the table. So Mike's going to look it over and see which suit he kind of prefers. I'm thinking maybe solids. Problem is there's really only the 4-ball to start with. And I only say solids because I can't tell, but if the 7-ball passes, you could do that. Because that 5-ball, wow. Did not see that coming. So the table's still open. So now Chad's got another thing that 5-ball actually went clean. The 7-ball is still a problem though, because with the stripes as they are, you got to move one of those stripes to deal with the 7-ball. So it's going to be an issue, to work around those balls. I do think that 15 actually goes between. It definitely passes the 3, and even if that 10 is still on the rail, it passes between there. So we'll see. This will be the first kind of tricky shot. You don't want to overdraw this ball too much, and he did all right. And if he wants to take that 15 ball now, he can. Otherwise, he's got a good shot on the 12 on the other side, and the 9 goes by the 6. But I think he'll take that ball now and then play these 2 balls on the side and then do this 13, which should lead him to the 14. Except that actually might change things. With that 7-ball being where it is, I would take the 14 now. Cut it in, play the hit to 3, and then go back to playing the 12 and the 9 and the 13. But, that's how I look at it from here. I'm not at the table. Let's see what Chad elects to do. He might decide to get a little better angle on it for the future. But I don't like leaving the 14 ball till later just because that 7 ball really blocked a really nice path from the 13. The 6 ball wasn't really impeding it, but that 7 ball really blocks that now. So he's going to take some time. Unless I'm wrong, unless the 9 does not pass the 6. So if the 9 doesn't pass the 6, then we might have some more thinking to do. But If the 9 does not pass the 6, it definitely goes in that corner once that 10 ball is 10 ball? I've been calling it the 14. It's the 10 ball. Yeah, I think he doesn't want to shoot that ball because it's really blocking the pocket for the 7 for sure. I don't know if the 6 will go on the side. I can't tell from here. But like I said earlier, Chad's real good about making sure he has a plan for the whole table, and I feel like he's kind of talking himself into and out of a particular pattern. So he might take the 9 and then the 14 with, or the 10 rather. Yeah, this is, I think the problem maybe with taking the 10 first is that if you hit the 3, you're not going to have the angle on the, that other ball to play the 9 on the side, and he kind of had 2 critical position shots there, and he handled this very well. He looks kind of straight. He might actually have to try and draw between the 2 and the 6 and just kind of get right in that window there, and he did that very well. He's on the rail, which nobody likes being on the rail, but I expect him to handle it. He's going to take his time, and this is a long shot. I mean, you could say there's no long shots on a bar box, but and he hit it well. And Chad ties it up at 8. It is now a race to 3. Race to 3. Boy, it's getting exciting. If anybody happens to be traveling through St. Louis, do make an effort to stop by the Q. All diamond bar tables. They just recently got a diamond 9-foot table. It's the challenge table. So for $1, you put your name on a list and you drop your buck in and play a game of 8-ball. And if you win, you stay there. And incoming challengers pay the next game, and you can play there for as long as you decide to keep winning. Great little place. Bartenders are fun. Lots of drink options. It's a non-smoking event, or non-smoking venue, rather. So you don't have to worry about going home smelling like smoke, and you don't have any of those issues to deal with. All right, Chad's trying I don't remember if this is where he broke from last time or not. It's very similar. We hit this one a little harder, definitely more square. Spread the balls out a little better, but still didn't get anything to drop. So again, we survey the table and see what's what. 2 ball goes in the side, so that's not really an issue. The 7 ball kind of has a tight position to make, but I would say probably the solids from here. I don't know which one to start with, but I would think you're going to play for the 8 in the side. The 6 ball could be an issue, but if you start with the 5 ball, you might do. You're going to be kind of going for good shape on the 3 if you start with the 5, and then you have to go up and down table, which, the books say you're not really supposed to play for balls on opposite ends of the table back and forth multiple times. But sometimes you have to. He might be able to hold this ball and play for the 4 next. Maybe it's a little bit inside off this bottom rail. Except I'm blind, and that's the 1 ball there, so he can use that ball to get better shape on something else. he's going to try and draw back for the 4. Where did he get to? Okay. It's all right. From that angle, the 6 might actually go on the side, but I don't expect him to try and play the 6 on the side. It looks like he's going forward here and in around underneath. So yeah, he's going to play for the 3. The 6 does pass that 11 ball into this lower right corner. And now we got some more music on the jukebox, so I'm going to keep talking. But, so yeah, he needs to make a decision where he wants to get to after this ball because, like I said earlier, that 7 ball kind of has a small position window. And if you get underneath it, then you have to contend with the 13 after cutting that ball in. And obviously you don't want to hit it. You play the 2 on the side. And then if you do the 2 on the side, where do you play the 6? You play to get straight in on the 2 and roll forward. Try and get some kind of back cut angle on the 6 so you can draw out and play the 8 on the side. But yeah, if you just... I don't like stopping it there and then playing the 2 and trying using the 2 to get down to the 7 because, again, the 9 and 13 is... They're kind of big blockers. They block a lot of angles we would normally play for. So he's just going to go underneath and play for it now. I don't know if he got there. I think he did. We'll find out here in a second. He's looking at the angle he needs on the 2. Because this is going to be the real... Where he gets here determines how the rest of the rack plays. So it looks like he's going to have to come underneath this 6 and play the 6 down table from the angle he's got here. Unless he's straighter than what it looks like on my screen. And the way he's kind of lining it up, it looks like he is. So this might work out very well. Just make sure you don't follow it too far and scratch it. No, this is a good angle because now he can just draw off this ball and just draw it straight across the table and play the 8 on the side that he's standing over right now. Yep, take your time. It passes. Don't let the visual tease fool you. And he did that well. Bounce off the table a little bit. Chad says you're good. Mike takes the lead. 2 games away from the victory, the first King of the Hill event here at the Q in Maplewood, St. Louis, Missouri. Maplewood is a municipality, and technically it's in the county of St. Louis. But if anybody's at all familiar with the structure of St. Louis, then the county is a separate entity than the city, which I'm told is unlike any other major city in the entire United States, because we're St. Louis. That's why. All right. We're racking them up here. Give me a second. So what Mike did is he changed his coin from one coin to another coin because he's planning on looping around the table entirely instead of most players when they get to 9 and when they win their 10th game they come back to the 0 marker and that becomes your 10. So he's scratching the break and now Chad's got a good look at the table. Unfortunately, it looks like there's a couple of problems out there. Looks like the 7 does pass. The 4-2 looks to be a pretty good combination. Then in another corner, but there's he's got a place for something out of the kitchen. So I'm going to see how that's going to wind up. So he really needs to make a decision because he's going to look. He might have to play a combo no matter what suit he plays. Excuse me. So yeah, again, he's like I said, he's taking his time. He's trying to make sure exactly what it is he wants to do and make sure he can do it. He does not have to play any combos if he chooses. Well, he will have to play that 2-ball combo just by the 7 if he chooses stripes. If he chooses solids, he has to play the 4-2 in the top left corner. But those are the only 2 combos that I see necessarily. The 2 and the 4 might actually go in the side where nearest where the 5 is. But, that's, again, it's a really goofy kind of position to try and get into. So, do you want to bet the whole game on that or not? It's tricky, So we'll just kind of see how he works out, how he does that. I mean, especially with him being down 1 game and he needs 3, Mike needs 2. You don't want to just kind of go, lackadaisically through the rack. You need to make sure that you have a plan to get all the way out. The other issue is that, both suits are blocking the 8-ball. So no matter what suit you choose, you're going to have to deal with where you're going to put the 8-ball. With the stripes, if you clear, the 7-ball, it looks like it is blocking the 8-ball, and if the 4-ball is not, then that top right corner is blocked by the 8. The top left will be cleared, and vice versa. If you choose solids, then the 8-ball has to go up table because both bottom pockets are blocked by the stripes. So it looks like he's found his plan, and he'll clean up these balls up here. And what?
She said I have to move away from the camera.
No, the camera's not listening. Yeah, no, but you can wear this other headset if you want. Right. I don't think he knew that this was coming tonight. Did he? I don't know. I know that we talked about it earlier. Yeah. I don't know. Our scheduled co-commentator is MIA, so... All right, so he is, so he played the 5 up there, and he's playing the 2 and the 4 in the side, or at least the 2, or at least one of these balls is going in the side. The angle he's got here, I don't think he can play the 2 in the other, in the top left corner. But, so he's making some adjustments, and we're going to see, where we're going from here. But, we got some people knocking the table here a little bit. It's all right. I don't know what's happened. It's getting late. People are having some beers, myself included. All right, let's see what Chad does here. Because where's he going to play the 2 ball? Looks like he's going to have to play the 2 in the same pocket. Now, see, this is interesting because he's going to deal with the 8 and the 13 and try and get some kind of shot on the 6 and the 1. It looks like he's going right. Oh, wow. That was nice. I did not see that shot from where I'm sitting. He handled that beautifully. He got such great shape on that 2-ball to float right in that gap and get where it needs to. Now, here we go again. Where's he going with the 8-ball? Because he's obviously going to use the 1-ball to get down there. And I expect he's going to actually come 2 rails, kind of a Z pattern on here. I think he wanted a little more angle on this 1-ball, but he's going to try and come underneath the 13 and go between the 13 and those balls underneath and probably play the 8 in that same side pocket. Just like that. Yeah, he got there very well. That was a great rack. What a great rack. That was well done. I have to commend that. That was an excellent rack and very tricky. And I don't know too many people would have chose solids from there. I personally would not have chosen solids from there, but personal preference, and that's just how it goes. It is now a race to 2. Very exciting. Race to 2. All right. There's some odd conversations going on in the background here. I don't really know what's happening, but if you guys heard that, then somebody's having a good time somewhere. I need another beverage. I'll be right back. And I'm back just in time for the break. Let's see how Chad's break works. I didn't see anything go. Looks like we're dry breaking again. It's the only problem I've seen with both our breaks. Neither guy is really making any balls on the break. They're getting good spreads and they're controlling the cue ball relatively well. And so, again, we look at the table and see where we're at here. All right, so he got good shape on this thing here. He's going to get real close to his work on this stripe. I wonder, I'm going to assume he's going to put the 8 in the side where the 14 is. So, well, we'll see where he ends up. So one of the teams that won their first round of the cities tournament is starting to show up, and happens to be one of the guys' birthdays. So and he's quite the party guy to begin with. So I wonder how he's going to party celebrate with this. Kind of a double celebration. All right, let's play for the 14 now. Or does he deal with these balls down here in the bottom left corner? I guess we'll see. That's what he's looking at. He's got to deal with. He needs some kind of angle on this ball. I think you got to go with the 14 now and then hit that higher ball, bounce off the rail, and then hit the lower ball and use that ball. Yeah. So, okay, looks like we agree on this pattern. Not too far. All right, it's good. He's good. Even if he's straight in, he can just draw back and still be all right. The worst thing he could have done is come too far and have to deal with the 5 and or the 1 coming out of the corner. But now he's sitting real good here. Because he can essentially just stop this ball here and put the 8 in the side and get on the hill. I think he overhit that ball a little bit. Yeah, he kind of cut to the thin side of the pocket a little bit. But he's going to be all right. It's just it's a thin cut. It's tricky. Called it, and he sinks it. Nice out. Mike gets on the hill. Mike gets on the hill first, and we have quite the sweater's delight here. All right, so while we're racking up here, I don't know the next time that we're going to have something going on. There is there's a ladies' version of this particular event going on, although none of them have actually asked me to come out and record any of their matches. I don't know if that's just because they're unaware or they just don't feel like playing on camera. It's all the women in that event, they're all very friendly, and they're all very friendly with each other. Although none of them are really of this kind of caliber of player. They're all very competitive with each other, but I don't know, and I don't mean any disrespect here, but this, I don't know that, where's the cue ball? Look at that. A golden break. He takes it down. Golden break. Mike Mueller, King of the Hill, the Q, 2016, the summer. And he makes a golden break, hell on the hill. And his final score is 11-9. Mike Mueller over Chad Bickell. And this has been an exciting match brought to you by the Q in Maplewood, Missouri, and STLPool.net. And thanks for watching, guys. And we'll be back with more matches. Keep watching the channel. Keep checking the website. And let's keep going. Oh, I need to highlight that. Well, he blocked it, so I can't even do that. Mike can't believe what's going on. That was such a great break. I mean, that was the best break of the whole night. And Mike's got the money going on, and he wins it. So. The bar owner actually chipped in a bunch of money for the winner of the first time event. So it's great times. And all right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Leave any feedback you have in the comments and on the video. Or you can always contact me at STLPool.net. And great. Until next time.